In a quiet, secluded town nestled between thick woods and shadowy hills sat an old, dilapidated mansion with a dark history. Legend was that the mansion had long been haunted by the ghost of a former resident who, driven by madness, would sing in a childlike voice. Locals spoke of a haunting melody that echoed through the town at night, sending shivers down the spines of anyone brave enough to venture too close. One year, on the night before their high school graduation, a group of 4 curious teenagers decided to explore the haunted mansion, drawn by the tales that had been passed down by the town elders. It could mean their last opportunity before heading off to college to bravely traverse the broken-down building, and their curiosity had gotten the best of them. They cautiously crept up the cracked cement steps leading to the mansion and huddled at the entryway, deciding whether this was to be the way they would spend their last night of teenhood. A young man emerged as the leader of the group and took matters into his own hands as the others stood there shivering. "Enough is enough," he demanded of them. "What is there to be afraid of? Nothing." The others looked at him in shock and surprise, but followed his lead nonetheless. He pressed lightly on the creaking door, which seemed to open itself in response to the slightest movement. An eerie silence fell over them, as though they were now isolated from the rest of their little mountain town. Air wafted briskly from inside, heavy with a scent of damp wood and some kind of presence that could only be described as supernatural. As they stumbled into the dimly lit foyer, the group remained together, their nerves on edge. Suddenly, a distant sound echoed through the mansion, a hauntingly slow and distorted version sound of singing. The creepy melody seemed to come from every corner of the building, as if the walls themselves were whispering the unsettling tune.
Where is Thumb? Where is Thumb? Here I am. How are you today, sir? Very well, I hear. Run away.
The tone of the childlike ethereal voice sent shivers down their spines. The group exchanged uneasy glances as the air grew colder, their breath now visible in the flickering candlelight. Their trembling bodies cast dancing shadows on the cracked walls as each of the group, now trembling with fear, decided to follow the eerie melody through the winding corridors. The singing seemed to lure them deeper into the heart of the mansion, where long-forgotten secrets and mysteries lay hidden. As they moved slowly down the hall together, the atmosphere became increasingly oppressive, and the air resonated with anxiety driven by an otherworldly energy. The singing continued, and with each verse of the haunting rhyme, the temperature plummeted further, and the walls seemed to close in on them. They came upon what appeared to be a baby's nursery room, where an old, dusty wooden crib remained in the center. The voice grew louder and louder, and the room began to pulse with an unnatural energy. Then suddenly the singing stopped. "Where is Thumbkin?" whispered a ghostly voice. The terrified group gasped and turned to run, but the door slammed shut with a deafening bang, trapping them inside the nursery. The temperature dropped to an icy chill, and their breath hung in the air like a foggy mist. The room seemed to come alive with ghostly apparitions, unseen children playing with broken toys and shadows dancing on the walls. The singing quietly resumed, then intensified, reaching a bone-chilling crescendo as the group felt the uneasy presence closing in around them. In a final terrifying verse, the voice bellowed, "Here I am!" A ghastly figure materialized before them, a ghostly being with hollow eyes and a twisted grin. Chaos ensued as they scrambled to get out, screaming and falling over each other, shoving each other out of the way until finally they managed to break down the nursery door and escape the room. They ran down the hall and flew out the front door, down the front steps, and ran out and into the woods, crying, begging for their lives. The old mansion stood once again in solemn silence, as if it had absorbed the fear and memories of those who dared to enter. The next morning, before the graduation ceremony was to begin, the teens vowed never to speak of the terror they had experienced the night before. Deep down, they knew none of them would ever be the same again. They also made a vow that day that if any of them were to someday have children of their own, that they would never, ever, under any circumstances, sing the song, "Where is Love?" If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you.